Amin Dada's life history for mid-level English learners. Introduction. Idi Amin Dada, one of the most notorious dictators of the 20th century, ruled Uganda with an iron fist from 1971 to 1979. His reign was marked by widespread human rights abuses, economic mismanagement, and a ruthless suppression of his opponents. Despite his brutal legacy, Idi Amin's life is a compelling story of power, conflict, and the impact of dictatorship on a nation. Early life. Idi Amin was born around 1925 in Koboko, in northwestern Uganda, though the exact date is unclear. His family belonged to the Kakwa ethnic group, a small community in Uganda. Amin grew up in a modest environment and had little formal education. He spent his early years working various jobs before joining the British colonial army, known as the King's African Rifles, in 1946. Military career. Amin quickly rose through the ranks due to his physical strength, courage, and loyalty. He served in several military campaigns, including in Kenya during the Mau Mau uprising and in Somalia. By the early 1960s, Amin had become one of Uganda's most senior officers. After Uganda gained independence from Britain in 1962, he became an important figure in the new Ugandan military. Rise to power. In 1971, Amin seized power in a military coup, overthrowing President Milton Obote while he was attending a conference abroad. Amin initially promised to restore democracy and improve the economy. However, he soon began to consolidate his power, purging the army of those he saw as threats and suppressing any opposition. Dictatorship. Amin declared himself president for life and ruled Uganda with absolute authority. His government was responsible for the deaths of an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 people, including political opponents, ethnic minorities, and others deemed enemies of the state. Amin's regime was also known for its erratic and bizarre behavior, including his self-bestowed titles, such as Conqueror of the British Empire. Expulsion of Asians. One of Amin's most infamous actions was the expulsion of Uganda's Asian community in 1972. He accused them of economic sabotage and ordered them to leave the country within 90 days. This decision led to economic chaos, as the Asian community had been a vital part of Uganda's economy, controlling much of the trade and industry. Downfall. By the late 1970s, Amin's regime was increasingly isolated and facing internal unrest. In 1978, he ordered an invasion of Tanzania, but this backfired when Tanzanian forces, along with Ugandan exiles, launched a counterattack. In 1979, Amin was forced to flee the country as Tanzanian forces captured the capital, Kampala. He went into exile, first in Libya and then in Saudi Arabia, where he lived until his death. Exile and death. Idi Amin lived out the rest of his life in Saudi Arabia, largely forgotten by the world. He died on August 16, 2003, in Jeddah. Though his rule ended decades earlier, the impact of his dictatorship continued to affect Uganda for years to come. Conclusion. Idi Amin Dada remains one of the most infamous figures in African history. His life serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the lasting damage that a dictatorship can inflict on a nation and its people. Uganda has since moved on from his dark legacy, but the lessons from his rule continue to resonate.